And we are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Bahzad.
My name is Risa.
And we are here today to present to you Naked and Famous Denim Day. It is Friday, February 16th, Saturday, February 17th for us here in Yokohama, Japan. We are streaming live to give you all the Raw Denim news that you can use, as well as some rants and ramblings and who knows what else. But it's going to be a fun 2 hours here talking about jeans, hanging out with you guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so everybody, it's been a fun week here at Naked Famous Denim Line. We have been, just as far as what we've been up to, as many of you may know, we were in New York and Paris last month, basically for the trade show tour. So we were showing off the fall-winter 2024 collection, and so we show it off, we show it to our retailers, the retailers send in the order. So this week has been a lot of wrapping up that, getting all the orders in, and then we're deep in the development of spring-summer 25, even into fall-winter 25 a little bit. So we're getting a lot of that stuff prepared. So if there's things that you want to see or see us do, you gotta let us know now, today.
Yeah, it's too late for spring 25.
Maybe not for shirts, because that's we're working on. We're still working on the shirt stuff. But you never know. Spring summer 20, it's tight. It's a real tight schedule right now, because it's February the 16th, 17th. We have to have samples ready by June. So anyways, we're on a tight schedule right now. But it's looking pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a stacked collection coming your way. Anyhow, we're going to talk about that maybe a little bit more if you guys have any questions about that. But let's check in with the chat and see where everybody is tuning in from. I see a lot of familiar faces here in the crowd. Oliver Anderson says, hello all, checking in from Australia. You're on the same date and time as us, probably. Not probably, definitely. We're on this part of the world.
Do they have the same
Good morning.
time? Maybe slightly off.
Maybe. Let us know.
I feel like Australia always is the first country to have the New Year's. Is that
Yeah, they're a little ahead of us.
Yeah,
that's it. And upside down.
right.
And upside down. Dusty Rad Title says, howdy from St. Paul, Minnesota, USA. USA is in the house. BD, good day. It's Elephant 12 Day for Mr. BD. Good choice.
Nice.
Chris Griffin, hit my 1 year for my Groovy Guy left-hand 12s this week. Haven't worn them every day, but definitely most. Well, congratulations. Happy birthday to those jeans. I hope they are doing well. Jordan, greetings from Picton, Ontario, wearing my red gradient cores today. Fantastic choice. As you guys may know, we've got the red core elephant denim coming for fall-winter 24.
Yeah.
Fall-winter 24.
It's coming relatively quickly.
Yeah. I mean, we're just past the midway point here in February. It feels like New Year's was about 75 minutes ago. I can't believe the speed at which time flies.
Also, I feel like because like this past few days in Japan and in Tokyo area at least, it was very warm. And it kind of felt like the winter was over.
I called it. I said it's over.
Yeah, but I think it's going to get chillier again. I think we're going to get the winter again.
Only with that attitude. Only with that attitude. Positive attitudes, affirmations, everybody. Just will it to existence, and the summer will be here soon.
Yeah, summer will be here soon. I know that. But that's why I feel like summer is closer.
Just
now,
be in that state. It's going to come. It's going to come. Let's manifest it, everybody. Okay. Who here believes in manifestations? Hit the like button if you think you can will things to existence through the power of your mind.
Oh, we're going to manifest that. We're going to have lots of likes right now.
That's it. We're manifesting lots of likes. So obviously that's going to happen because we're putting out the power of positivity into the world by just willing it to existence. So hit that like button to prove us right.
Yes.
That's
how it works.
That's how it works. Jacob Harvey, the singer, writes, Flin Flon, Manitoba here. Flin Flon, I've never heard of Flin Flon, Manitoba.
What?
If that's a real place,
Flin Flon?
I want to go there.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
Which one is it?
Right here. Flin Flon, Manitoba here. I'm happy that you're here. And he writes, need a matching pure white suit of bootcuts and jacket a la Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Well, Jacob Harvey, the singer, you can do that with the natural Indigo Selvedge. We do offer a denim jacket and the groovy guy, as well as the left-hand twill. Or if you don't want it to be quite as flared, go true guy. Now, they're not...
He wants white suit.
Oh, that's you want a white suit. We've done the all-natural.
Yeah, but not in groovy guy.
Not in groovy guy. Okay, you know what, Jacob? We're on it. We're on it. That would be cool. Be real handsome.
That would be cool if Brad Pitt modeled for us.
Brad, are you in the chat here? Brad, let us know if you're here. The Raven, do you guys prefer winter or summer?
Oh, summer, for sure.
Summer,
Ooh.
Yeah. Winter's not terrible here, but summer...
Summer is terrible here, but I still prefer summer over winter. Winter, it's just...
cold.
It's hard.
The cold sucks. I hate the cold. I hate being cold.
It's just that you don't do anything because it's so cold.
Right.
Like, I don't want to leave the house.
I also don't want to leave the house when it's scorching hot outside. I like being in a air-conditioned room with a cold drink on a hot summer day. That is ideal. It's better than, hey Snowy, it's better than being in a cold room with a hot drink on a cold winter's eve. Mm-hmm. Right? I think so.
I think so.
All right. Rafael MC, greetings from Mexico. Excited for the MIJ13 Heritage Jacket. Well, thank you and welcome. Hola. MIJ13 coming out next Friday. Yeah. We've got, there's a lot of content coming around that. The products are on Tate and Yoko. Let's go over to Tate and Yoko right now. The product pages are up, so you can see it here. The slider is right here. And all the products are on the website. So you can see photos and you can see measurements of everything. We've got the Heritage Jacket here.
This is denim jacket.
Oh, sorry. This is the denim jacket. What did I clicked? Sorry, I can't see very well. There we go. This is the Heritage Jacket right here. Thanks for being my eyes, Risa. I really appreciate that. And yeah, so you can see the photos. We've got the measurements. You can see there's noticeably a small missing. Is there a reason? Did we not make small?
I think we did. I'm not sure.
Somebody DM'd me and I forgot to check. I will make a mental note that we need to check on the status of that small jacket. So bear with us, my friends. Bear as in grizzly bear. So anyhow, MIJ13 coming out next Friday. We've got a fade review video. We've got a video, I think Garrett and Brandon put it together, going over the details of it. There's a lot of great photos, so something to be very excited for. The MIJ13, the first MIJ release of the year, the first all-black MIJ.
The first MIJ True Guy
and Heritage Jacket.
It's been a while since our last MIJ, which was 11.
11, right.
Yeah, that was that Takeshibu.
Right.
So that was a long time ago.
That was a while. Yeah, it's taken a bit. But anyhow, that's the way it goes. But we have a good, there could be to be fair, the 13s and the 12s, there was a little bit of a delay with them, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all coming. It comes when it comes, and when it does, you will, I'm sure you'll be excited for them.
With MIJ, it's like, each one is just, different, but it's also, it's not like the vibe of the season gets decided by the existence of MIJ. So
Right.
It's fine. It comes in the fall. It comes in the spring. Doesn't matter.
Right. And two things I'm excited for about the MIJ13. I love I made the Okayama Spirit, the MIJ10. I made that a core style for the MIJ because I believe that that fabric really represents the soul of Naked and Famous Denim. and I wanted to make that something that we could always count on. So the Okayama Spirit MIJ10, that's going to get restocked this year. And I wanted to see that in black. I just wanted to see that denim in black. It's a fantastic denim. Snowy's being very curious on the table here. And I love fading black jeans. You know, I'm actually wearing, once Snowy decides he wants to leave, I'll show you guys my, I have a pair of Easy Guys solid black Selvedges on that I faded for the Indigo Invitational a while back. And I know they weren't quite indigo, but I still wanted to fade a black denim because I don't have a pair of faded black jeans. And I think these came out pretty nicely. There's still a lot of life left in this guy. But the fading properties on the Okayama Spirit is incredible. And when you combine that with black, expect fast, incredible, detailed fading. Garrett wore his pair for like 4 months.
That's amazing. And it looks like it's been worn for like a year.
At least. Yeah, just beautiful. So just you wait. If you've never faded a black pair of jeans before, this is the one to get. When I say over solid blacks, if you've got to budget for it. Right? The solid blacks fade well. They don't fade as well as the Okayama Spirits, but there is a price difference.
Yeah.
There is a price difference.
I mean, you know, aesthetic differences. You know?
Yeah. The solid black is a little bit, like, I wore mine hard, and I got them to fade, but if you just want kind of, the thing about the solid blacks is if you don't want to fade them, you just want to have them as like a black pair of jeans that you wear occasionally, then there'll be that black pair of jeans for you. If you want to wear them every day, you can fade them. But sometimes I guess it depends. It's a good topic, you know, black versus indigo in your wardrobe. You know, a lot of us, we have a lot of black jeans. Sorry, we have a lot of indigo jeans in our wardrobe. And some people, they never get around to wearing black jeans. Some people are just not black jeans kind of guys. I always every couple years because I usually wear like a jean for a year and a bit. Every now and then I'm just like, I'm in black jean mode and I wear the black and I'm wearing a black jean. And then I'll switch it up more an indigo one. So I've worn a couple of I've worn black Power Stretch a few times over the years and I just wore the crap out of those. I had a pair of black Cobras that they never got to see much wear because I got them and then I didn't wear them. And then when I was ready to wear them, I couldn't fit them anymore. That's a warning for piling up jeans.
Yeah, I think my first Naked and Famous jeans that I wore
Black Power Stretch
was Black Power Stretch.
Right. So
I still have that pair.
Yeah, if you've never worn black, give it a try. I think, you know, it really expands, you know, the way you wear your stuff. Right? Like, you know, I would imagine if you're in the raw denim world for a while, you end up with some black boots and black sneakers, black leather jackets. That all black stealthy look, sometimes it's just the easiest outfit to put together. You know, I remember working in the, when I worked at the luxury department store, I used to work at Holt Renfrew, and like unofficially, eventually what would happen was like everyone's outfits were just black. Right, because there was something stylish about a black outfit, and something also like I don't have to really think about this outfit very much, and so you could tell who's been an employee for a long time because they just start wearing all black. I don't know if it's like that today, but definitely it was kind of a trope when I was there.
I mean, we still kind of associate all black, you know, people with like a passion people. I feel
right.
But yeah, it's actually the easiest to put together. So it's just like, I don't know if they necessarily call them, but they do look stylish when that happens. And also black, you know, has slimming effect.
Right.
You know, kind of thing. So
the Raven writes, I used to wear Walmart black jeans back in high school every day. Right on. I used to wear all black in high school for a while. I was one of those kids. Yeah, that was a good time. Yeah. You know, I went from that to being like a candy raver and wearing like colorful. I'm sure people thought I was the school freak, but yeah, I went from like wearing all black, and then I was wearing like bright colors and like super wide pants and like 1,000 colorful bracelets, and people were like, "What? Did you just learn how to smile all of a sudden?" You know. Yeah, if I only had pictures of those days, nothing.
I can't imagine getting ready for school every day and choosing your outfit that people, because like, you know, you still have to choose outfit when you go to work, but like, you know, we're adults, like we don't like just pay that much attention to it. But when you're in school, like that's your identity. That's how people see you, and that's how people judge you. Like I just cannot imagine the stress of having to dress every morning. Also, like your school, you have to get up early, and like, you know.
Risa went to private school, by the way, guys.
Well, I went to school with
Japan, everyone.
I mean, a lot of schools here, even the public ones, have uniforms.
Right.
And it's just like I just can't imagine the stress.
Yeah, there was no stress for me. I mean, I didn't have that many clothes, so I just wore what I had. Whatever was clean kind of went on. But yeah. Anyhow, black jeans, an essential. I think it's an essential piece in everybody's wardrobe. It usually goes, like, if you're buying a non-indigo jean, it usually goes to black. A crew, I think, is part of the conversation more so now than ever before.
Like a brownish. Blackish.
Brown, like a brown duck, khaki green duck, some kind of army kind of colored.
Yeah, some kind of another color, I feel. Like, it just, like, it goes with the, like, earthy tone.
If you got a collection of, like, classic indigo by white, black, a crew, either army brown, like a brown duck or a green duck, you're good.
You're good.
You're good. You're really good. Like, after that, it's just, like, variations of everything else, right?
Like heavyweight, stretch, you know, tonal stitching, whatever.
Like,
but
a crew and like a duck brown can kind of sometimes interchange a little bit. The duck brown, like that workwear kind of look, that goes with all of your denim outfits. Any denim outfit that you have, any flannel shirt with those duck trousers, you're good to go. You're good to go. If I could, the absolute minimal wardrobe would be like, you know, 2 pairs of raw jeans, indigo black, couple of black and white tees, black and or gray hoodie, 2.
And a flannel. Or 2.
2 flannels. You need 2 of everything, basically, because something's in the wash, and then, you know, 2 Oxford shirts.
And some kind of jacket.
Some kind of jacket. That you could play around with, you know. But if you want to build up like a high quality wardrobe that lasts a long time, you can do it. I think we talked about it before. I need to put this all on paper and just give you my, like, this is what I've analyzed this. I've perfected it. I've minimized everything to the bare bones of what you can get away with. If you got a budget of $1,000 to build a minimal wardrobe, here's what you should get. If you got $2,000, that's a great article. I gotta write that down. Hold on, I'm writing it down right now. Minimal wardrobe on $1,000, $2,000, and $3,000. Like, if you had to build up everything you need for $1,000, that'll get you wear 365 days a year without having to need anything else. That's $1,000. I can do it.
I mean, it's possible. It's like, you know, there are like cheap things of everything nowadays.
But even still, like, you could probably, like, you know, if you were to build it up with.
But you have to build your entire wardrobe, right? Like, does that include jackets or like?
Yes, including jacket for $1,000.
$1,000 is a challenge.
You might have to go to the fast fashion for like a jacket in that respect. You might, and you're definitely doing some sale shopping.
Right.
But you can I think you can get away with a year's wardrobe on $1,000.
Because the thing is, like, with men, it's like in the summertime you just wear a t-shirt and jeans. In the wintertime, you wear the same t-shirt and jeans, but just layer up. So it's like, in the summer, you don't need your own, like, summer clothing. You just wear less layers.
Right. You wear less layers. Right. So you got the blue jeans and the t-shirt, and you've got 3, you know, quality white t-shirts, maybe 4. 3 white, 2 black, something like that. And what, you know, you wear it, wash, and you need something that's going to wear well, wash after wash after wash, so you're not having to replace those. Yeah, it's a good one. And the things that you don't need, you could get away with not a belt. You could.
Yeah, you just have to have a jeans
that fit right.
That hangs on to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone seems to like this idea. John Chan, $1,000 wardrobe sounds like a good future idea. Chris Griffin writes, Gentleman's Gazette does suits $100 to $1,000. $100 suit.
But that's a good point. Like, if you are like a professional, then that's that's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I will say, like, your day-to-day wardrobe, and yeah.
Like, you have to be a certain type of person. Like, a student doesn't really need, like, on and off clothing.
Right.
People like us don't need on and off clothing.
I currently do not own a suit that fits.
Right.
I have a couple suits, none of them fit anymore.
That could be a problem. I mean, sometimes
at some point I have to buy a suit.
All of a sudden.
Yeah. Chris Paul, why don't you have a belt? Because I buy jeans that fit. LOL. Look, sometimes belts are accessories, right? You just like the way they look. They complete the outfit. But sometimes I don't wear, most of the time I don't wear a belt anymore. Mostly because I've grown into the jeans that have fit. But I used to sometimes have to wear a belt. And then other times I wore it just for aesthetics because I liked the way they looked. I've been on and off, and I would say the last maybe 5 years, I've probably been off belts.
Yeah, I haven't seen you wear a belt.
But I have a bag of belts. I've got all kinds of belts.
Now, like, I'm wearing your jeans, so, like, I have to wear belt every day.
Yeah.
But even when, like, my classics and stuff, like, they fit perfectly, but I still wear a belt. So the pro tip, if the jeans might get tight, like, if you're going to have a big meal, wear a belt so that you can keep the belt and unbutton
the
underneath.
top button, yeah.
So you have a little bit more room.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Pedro writes, let's see that buckle collection you've got, B. Buckle collection. I used to have I'm sure we sold some. I don't know how many of them we sold. Yeah. So I was a big fan of DSquared, in the 2000s. And so I would buy DSquared belts like they were going out of style.
They were.
And they were going out of style. So I was doing the right thing.
Exactly.
And DSquared would come out. It was a very small window of the fashion world in the 2000s when big buckles with funny things on them was high fashion somehow. Ironic belt buckles was just everywhere. And so the Raven writes, what are DSquared belts? Well, let me introduce you to the wonderful world of Dan and Dean Catan of DSquared. And they're actually Canadian, a Canadian duo. And what I liked about DSquared when I got into it was their products were very Canadiana. Like, they had a lot of Canadian themes in their products, so I liked that. So,
like a shirt like this.
Yeah, a lot of flannel shirts, and, like, their models looked like Mounties, and the girls, like, anyhow, we'll show you some stuff, but like these were the belts. Like, I had a couple of these. I definitely had this belt. I had another one of this belt with rhinestones on it. I had a red one. I had some kind of, like, studded one. Like, I just liked these gigantic belt buckles.
I also had the one with, like, a woods on it.
That one. It was one called Keepin' Me Hot. Where is it? So, yeah, there was a lot of... It was like this shape, but it said Keepin' Me Hot on it, and I thought it was kind of cool. Let's just Google it. DSquared belt, Keepin' Me Hot. this belt. I had exactly this belt, and I thought it was tremendous. And there were a lot of fakes of these, but we sold it at Holt Renfrew, so I could get a discount on them. They were pricey at the time. I'm sure they're still very pricey today. But you just don't see people wearing giant belt buckles anymore. I used to have a fox fur hat of theirs, not this model, but it was like a corduroy one, and I think it said like effing freezing on it. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun with this brand back in the day. I just liked their like campy Canadian themes that they had going on.
Also, in the 15-year anniversary poster, like the hat the girl is wearing, is inspired by that vibe.
Bingo! It's inspired by the hat that I had, which was from DSquared back in the day. Absolutely. But yeah. Okay. Let's see what Invis Ian says. DSquared had the best quality too. A lot of their products were made in Italy. I know that Diesel was like their parent company, so I think Diesel bought them, or I don't know how it all worked out, but
I thought they were connected somehow.
They're connected to Diesel somehow. I'm pretty sure. Kenny Ingram writes, in Winnipeg, you still often see people wearing those loud, awful Ferragamo and Dolce & Gabbana belts. Sometimes the style just sticks to an area, huh? I remember in Montreal every now and then, and it'd be, the late 2010s, 2000s, you'd see a guy like very much, and I'm sure this is everywhere, and maybe even like in small pockets in like smaller places, but a guy who's like very stuck in like 2008, They had their like, baggy True Religions on, or like whatever jeans with like the giant stitching, like an Affliction t-shirt, and like a sideways hat, and like some bad sporty sunglasses, and you're just like, you didn't get the memo. It worked. It's very Jersey Shore, right? And then like the time, and if you were at the Jersey Shore, definitely appropriate, right? But it just seems so out of place.
They're almost at the point where the ironic
is coming back.
Like it's almost there. In another few years. You're going to be hot again.
Right. Chief Miggy writes, Bahzad, will you guys ever make a belt out of exotic ostrich leather? I'm not opposed to it. Back in the early days of Naked Famous, we used to do some ostrich and python belts. We did quite a lot of python belts. I don't know really why we stopped. At one point, I think Barney's, we were selling a lot to Barney's, but Barney's couldn't carry them in California because California had some regulations with that. And then, I don't know, I'm not really sure why. I always wanted to do a python leather patch on one of our jeans. I thought that would be kind of cool. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I can talk to Brandon about doing those again. But in the early Naked Famous Denim days, we had a bunch of python belts. I thought those looked really great. Arif writes, I'm not a fan over branding or garish loud logos. That being said, I do have a pair of old Evisus with their logo for pocket arcuates. Hi from Chicago. Hey Arif, good to see you. Yeah, I mean, look, at some point in many of our lives, it usually hits us in our 20s where we like logos. Look, and then as you get older, you are less prone to wearing logos, generally speaking. That's just how it is. You're in the teens, you don't have any money, you see the things that you like when you're in your 20s, you got money, you start buying those things that you liked, and then you're like, well, I got other priorities.
Yeah, but also now that you do have money, that you don't have to like pretend like you have money.
Right. So giant logos, I think they still have their place, and people still enjoy them.
A lot of wealthy people also wear those
that's
stuff
true.
Too. So it's not like it's all fake, plastering or anything. But it is, I mean, now in our room, like we all kind of understand that logo is just an advertisement for the brand that you're paying money to.
We were having a coffee with a friend of ours just the other day, and we were talking about this exactly, like giant logos on stuff, and I loudly said, "Yeah, look," and I named the brand, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's just for low IQ people." And there was a girl who was of Western origin who clearly understood the English I was speaking and walked by me with her bag in hand with giant logos on it. And I'm sure she wanted to say something but didn't. But I meant every word of it.
Yeah, I'm sure she's not hurt either.
No. Yeah, I guess her low IQ-ness wouldn't even allow her to process that was an insult.
No, it's more like that, like, oh, he's just jealous because he doesn't have it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. You know, I heard another insult the other day, and I thought it was great, and I can't wait to use it. I can't wait. I'm going to use it one day. You guys feel free to use this as well because I stole it. Their IQ is so low that they wouldn't execute them. That is a... Ooh... You're really stupid if that's you. That's a deep cut insult. Anyways, feel free to use it, everybody, but use it sparingly, only when appropriate. Otherwise, be nice to everyone, like me. I'm a nice guy. BD writes, Bahzad and Risa, any notable fades on the wall? A pair that's really rare or a jean you want to see for the wall that's never been offered? The fade wall in... You know what? New York has a very impressive fade wall. Because they have people, like, walking in with the trade-ins, whereas Tate and Yoko, it's more mail-in stuff. So, like, when we were in New York, I saw some green cores. They had some purple... They had basically all the color cores up there. What have I not seen that I'd really like to see? That's a good question.
I still haven't seen the Matrix leather.
Oh yeah, there was a guy at the party in New York who was wearing them.
Right. Yeah, but it wasn't
destroyed. Yeah, that's a hard one to destroy.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
You really need to be like kneeling on the gravels.
Right. You gotta want to F those up. Yeah. Like that. It's kind of like the reverse fade denim that we did, where it was a raw denim that had a paint coating on top.
I've seen that on the fade wall in Montreal.
Those were worn by Evan, who was an employee of ours. And he
tall Evan? Or
Papa George. Evan Papa George. Shout out to Evan Papa George. We love you. It's been a while, but if you're watching right now, which I know you are, just want to say that I love you very much. Evan Papa George, great guy, great denim fader, wore the reverse fades like a champion. Because
I can see him pulling that off. Yeah. Because it's a hard denim to pull off, I think.
It was an all-white paint-coated jean. And he wore them. He faded them decently, but it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not like an Akuma denim or, you know...
Not
like
even just regular white denim.
Right.
Coated.
It was coated.
Painty.
Yeah, it was like sticky and like, you know, a little waxy feeling. So it
shiny.
Right. It had its own look. And in theory, I thought it was a good idea. You know,
I mean, we all think about it. Like sometimes in the chat, you know, it comes across.
Yeah.
But it's just not a good execution so much.
Well, I think the practical functionality of it is very difficult versus like conceptually. Conceptually, it works, but practically, because nobody is very like there are few people that are going to wear that day in day out and really dedicate to fading that jean
because it's not like covering like a color with indigo or color with dark color, black or whatever, like. Covering dark color with light color, like white, is just incredibly difficult. Yeah. So that like the coating has to be really thick.
Right.
And that it's just kind of not great.
So, though we have seen that one faded and it looks cool. I haven't seen too many of them out there in the wild faded. The Matrix denim with the faux leather coating, similar aesthetic, though I feel like the people who bought them really like the way that the leather looks. So maybe destroying them isn't like what they're aiming for, but if they wear them a lot and over time and over years, I think that's a jean that's going to show up in like 10 years from now, and we're going to be like, whoa, like that's pretty cool. But you know, unlike a lot of our jeans where you might see some like impressive fade properties after 6 months, 8 months, a year, there are some out there that are a little bit more difficult to fade than others, like those two, that like when they show up they're going to look really cool, but it's going to be like a rare Pokemon spotting. Writes W5 writes just a quote, not at anyone. My IQ so low, I'm thicker than yo mama.
IQ and yo mama joke
Combined. You got to do that. Just the double pow pow of insults. I remember when I was a kid, just the amount that we would terrorize each other with mama jokes. Do kids do that anymore?
I don't know. I mean, that was a thing in Japan too. I think it's more of like a boys thing.
Yeah,
though.
definitely a boys thing.
It's not like you insult your mom to your girlfriend. It just doesn't.
Right.
Like,
it seems rude.
Well, like you're turning into her later. So.
Oh, right. That's a good mama joke. But yeah, we were notorious with that stuff. Just vicious. And nobody took it personally, unless you really crossed the line. But
so in Japan, like this is like the most kid-friendly, like childish, like insult. Like when you use it when you're like very very small, but it's basically calling your mama has like an Audi for the belly button.
Okay. So
like an Audi in this country is it's not a good thing.
I see.
So you just point that out. Like
your mama has an Audi. Oh, damn. Burn. Big burn. Serious burn. Okay. Pedro writes, how funny would it be to see little girls tossing yo mama jokes back and forth? It would be funny. Like in one of those, like, you know, some kind of YouTube videos where I kept getting this, like, random clip, like, you know, not the kings of comedy, you know, like Cedric the Entertainer, like those guys, but it had like the kids of comedy, so it would be like these like you know, 11-year-old like white boys doing like black kind of comedy jokes, and it was just a really funny bit because like they were kids doing it, and oh man, it was so funny. I had saved it somewhere. I loved it, but yeah, kids insulting each other, always fun. But only in good taste, you know, just for the humor of it, just for the humor of it. Jap27 writes, do you take part in the mustache craze when hipsters wore shirts and glasses with mustaches on them, even suspenders? I never wore a t-shirt with a mustache on it. I thought those were silly.
T-shirt with the tuxedo.
Yeah. That wasn't for me personally, but I certainly was a dirty hipster. There's I still
I've seen pictures.
I had really skinny jeans, fedora, yep,
some glasses,
thick glasses, beard, looked really dirty, like retro stuff, still do, but when that hit, you know, that American Apparel look, I was there. I was all for it. Yeah, not so much bright neon, but like, you know, if I had a thermochromic t-shirt, you know, retro, you know, I was all about that. But yeah, the Raven writes, we've all seen your hipster glasses, my friend. Yeah, I'm not ashamed. I thought it looked good. Jameson Keating, denim idea. Yo mama salvage a jean so large it has its own zip code. Oh, that's pretty good. Speaking of which, we're working, the jean we're working on right now, we had the Vulgar Selvedge, Vulgar Selvedge 2, Vulgar Selvedge 3. It's a lot of vulgarities. Mm-hmm. We're finally doing it. The peace, love, and joy, harmony, loving, peaceful jean.
Positivity.
Power positivity jean. It's coming. And so...
for people who don't want to offend people by wearing your jeans.
Yeah.
You can now spread the positive message.
I think I'm gonna wear these because it's gonna say peace, it's gonna have peace signs, it's gonna have like yin yangs and smiley faces on the Selvedge ID. It's gonna be really cool. I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm trying to work with an artist on Instagram that I does a lot of great illustrations. Anyways, I'm just trying to arrange a meeting with them to do a great leather patch for them to make it all like hippie and like it'll have the naked and famous girl, but maybe she'll be playing a guitar with like a fringe jacket, Woodstocky kind of vibe. Like I want it to be so happy, so happy. So
like 70s happy.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. So we'll see. All I can say is, again, every time we do the vulgar, before we decide on doing the vulgar, there's always we should do the positive gene. And then Brandon always says, and we always say it, and we always go back. He's like, yeah, but if we wrote the F word on there,
it's gonna sell.
It's gonna sell better. And this time, I'm going against my gut.
No, because we've done it so many times that it's not like it's not so. Like, obviously, there are people who are new to the brand and stuff like that, but it's just, if we keep doing it, it just kind of, like, dilute the message. Yeah. It doesn't have the power anymore.
So, I just hope the power of positivity will...
take over the negativity this
that's
season.
It. So, as much as, we're talking about mama jokes and this and that here, those are just jokes. We're just, because we're friends, you can joke between friends. We're family, It's not nice when somebody you don't know says something about your mama, but when you're mama joking with your buds, it's all good. That would be good on the dirty fade. Yeah, the positivity denim on the dirty fade, or like we should have a dirty. It'd be kind of funny. Like we had the double dirty fade denim with the dark inside. We could have the dirty fade with like really vulgar.
Yeah, but
positivity.
I think maybe they meant dirty fade because like just the hippie vibe. When you
right.
a dirtier fade.
A dirty hippie.
Yeah.
Jameson Keating writes, combine the two. Have a nice effing day. Dude, I'm writing that down. I am writing that down. That's a good one. Nice effing day. And I'm YouTube comment. Okay, one day that's gonna come out, and if it does, Jameson Keating, you message me because I'm gonna give you a pair. Mm-hmm. That's it. That is a great idea, my friends. That is a good idea.
Mixed message.
Yeah, right. It's like, I don't know how to feel about this. Okay, Jameson Harvey writes, aside from the white bootcut and jacket combo, maybe a Canadian series with different towns, flan included. What I would like to do is more city edition jeans, and though we don't have our own stores in every city, maybe I will work with some of our retail partners to have city edition jeans for their shops. So like
Toronto
the naked
jeans.
Right, the Toronto jeans, maybe the Seattle jean, something like that. So let me talk to the people out there, the folks out there, maybe the Winnipeg special, I think that could be kind of cool. I think that'd be kind of nice. Because everyone likes to go to Winnipeg in the winter. That's a reference to The Office, one of the best episodes, where Michael Scott goes on an international business trip to Winnipeg. Just great. Jacob writes, the folks at Denali say you guys love to party. You'll love Flin Flon if you come. Do we love to?
Well, the only
It
one
depends on what you consider partying. I'm very much a dinner and, that was great, kind of guy.
Let's go to sleep.
Yeah, I haven't been to the club in probably 10 years.
Probably.
Yeah.
Since we started dating, that's the last times that we were at
Right,
clubs.
a lot of club. In Vegas, we would go, at the trade show, they would often have, a trade show party, and so,
it's part of work basically. It's just get to hang out with your
colleagues and customers
and the people you exhibition with that are it's networking kind of in a way.
Yeah, so we would end up at usually it would be a smaller venue. I have to say though, so it would always be kind of in Vegas, the venues were always kind of dive bar type places, and most of them were like
downtown,
that. Yeah. And they were great. They're a lot of fun.
The best parties were Berlin. Those were great. I loved those. They have the best DJs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Berlin parties were a lot of fun. But sometimes in Vegas, the party would end up at the Spearmint Rhino, where then you would really get to know your customers.
I've never participated in that. Nobody invited me.
That's true. By that point, when we were together and we were being invited, I'm like, I am not going to this. And for those people who don't know, the Spearmint Rhino is a club for gentlemen, strictly gentlemen, though they will allow gentlewomen in there as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. They probably love those.
Do they?
People.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't partake in that. Well, I have, but, just, it was all business. Just business relationship building. Invis Ian, Spearmint Rhino has A1 talent. You know what?
If you say so.
I don't know what it's like anymore, but cheers to the fine employees at the Spearmint Rhino. Have you been to Berghain in Berlin? Maggie24 writes. No.
Is it that really famous club? I went there once.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
do not know the name. Yeah. I was with my colleague who were really excited about going there, so I went, but and I vaguely remember.
Right.
It was cool, but
I don't remember the names of the venues we went to in Berlin.
No, I never really pay attention to that. Or restaurants.
Right. I just know where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this one restaurant right next to Bergen Schild. Yeah.
Yes. We
went there a bunch of times. Yeah.
I think somebody. Yeah. Anyways, it's a great restaurant. I hope it's still there.
Yeah. And I don't remember the name of it. It's just a door or two down from Bergen Schild, or at least their first location.
Mm-hmm. It was next to there used to be a Woodwood next to it.
Right. What's the name of that area there?
Alexanderplatz.
Alexanderplatz. Yeah, that's it. Venomous Teddy. The venue names in Berlin are probably 20 characters long with funny symbols on the vowels.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's also why you can't remember.
And I would also remember, just because of the way, in France and in Germany, the way that the buildings are, you have these, giant facades on the front, and then you'd go into some, giant, industrial-looking door, and then you'd be in, this courtyard or something in the middle. You'd just have these parties in, these seemingly, you would never know that behind that wall was all of this stuff going on, right? Berlin was an interesting place. I haven't been there in a while, but...
yeah, I love Berlin.
Yeah, great place. James E. Keating, there's a Spearmint Rhino located right by the freeway in my hometown. As I got older, I realized that was a good indication that I don't need to go to that one. Right. There was literally a not there still is, but next to the Naked and Famous office, there was a gentleman's club called Solid Gold.
It's called something else.
It's called something else now, but they would always have like a lunch menu, lunch buffet, and it was like $7.95 or something like that for like a steak and like.
To be fair, in the middle of the week, if you go to a strip club for lunch, you cannot expect like the quality.
It's just you're walking by and you're like $7.95 for a steak. Like, yeah. I never went in, but I'm like, who is going here for lunch? Who is?
I'm sure there's a reason why they have lunch menus.
There is. There's no question about it. They have a lunch menu for a reason. Anyhow, yeah, they're under new management now, but you couldn't miss it because it was literally just up the street. But yeah, strip club lunch buffet. All right. Okay. McCult writes, I go there on break. Yeah, I guess they didn't expect you to just have lunch when you were there, Anyhow, I don't even want. There's a part of me that's curious to know, like, what the hell goes on in there for $7.95 lunch steak. But there's also a part of me that is just like, it can't be good things.
I also did not know that strip clubs like serve food. Like there are strip clubs that serves food until Parks and Rec. Oh. Like I did not know that. I thought it was just like, you get a drink, but like.
Yeah. If you guys thought you're only going to hear about Raw Denim today, this is the Naked and Famous Denim live stream. So there you go. Chris writes $7.95 for a steak and $10.95 for a beer.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, no question about it.
And you can't you can't go to a strip club without like tipping people around you, right? People in front of you.
I think it's
that's very rude.
It's disrespectful to the ladies. Okay. In Sunnyvale, California, the rib lunch buffet at Cheetah's Club was phenomenal. Christopher writes. Okay, I'll take your word for it. But anyhow, sometimes, and I'm sure it still happens, business ends up there, especially in Vegas. Though the biggest parties we ever went to was thrown by Zappos.
Yes.
Zappos.com.
Yeah, they're located.
Yeah, their HQ was the former City Hall of Las Vegas, so they bought the whole property, and
they turned the temporary jail cells into a gym.
Yeah, it was cool.
Which was very cool.
They took us for a tour of their office, and their campus was amazing. I have to say that their staff was always the nicest and the kindest. There's a couple of retailers that really stick out in terms of like the friendliness of their staff, and Zappos really went above and beyond. And one way that they did it, that they really made you feel special as a partner of theirs, and we weren't a huge partner of theirs. They would write, good orders, but we weren't like Nike or something like that. They're writing millions of dollars worth of orders. But what they would do is in Vegas, usually what would happen is, a trade show would throw a party, or maybe a brand would have like a separate party on the side. Okay, that streetwear brand is having a party over at that club over there. They got that DJ and whatever. So there would be a lot of parties going on.
Yeah, and it's mostly meant for buyers, like to massage the buyers.
Yeah.
But with Zappos,
it was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It was the buyers throwing a party for their vendors. So nobody throws a party for the vendor, right? It's the vendor is always tasked with, and I would say rightfully, you treat your customers, you take them out for dinner, like this and that, like that's part of the business, right? But Zappos would throw these magnificent parties, and I'm talking they would rent out an entire club, like a Vegas club, like a good one, and it would be they would have like Cirque du Soleil dancers, and acrobats doing shows. They would have fire breathers. I've never seen something like this before. It was crazy. And you're just like, this party, this one night is easily costing $1 million. Easily, they spent $1 million on this party. And, you'd show up there, and your buyer would greet you. Like, they'd find you. Oh, you having a good time? Oh, let's get you some drinks. Let's get you some food, whatever. And it was just the nicest. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. The year before we were invited to that like Cirque du Soleil style like party, apparently it was a water park party.
Oh right, yeah.
Which I was like, oh my gosh, they needed to be there. Yeah. But it's just like they're not like just throwing party with free drinks. They're throwing like a real party. Yeah. Which is incredible. Yeah. I'm sure there are people who are tasked to like plan that party all year long. Right. Like, just that's their job.
Yeah. And so they would do that, and like, you're going home, okay, everybody here's a free Uber thing, like, let's get everybody home safe. Like, it was so like well managed, responsibly managed, and like the point of this whole party was, and it definitely worked, was like, let's be nice to our vendors and let's create like this beautiful, like friendly relationship. And, we're going to develop this reputation of being, like, nice to work with and nice people. And everybody we worked with. And, like, they went through the typical, like, department store, like, buyer switch up all the time. But it didn't matter. Every time we got a new buyer, they were always nice to us. Whether they knew, like, were really familiar with the brand or not, they were willing to learn. They'd take your call. And, like, they were always a great partner of ours. So I have nothing but good things to say about Zappos. Always very, very friendly folks over there.
And we were like, when we were walking around for the tour of the headquarters, we ran into
the owner.
Yeah, what is
he passed away.
Right, but
a couple years ago.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but he was like the most down to earth. Like he was. Actually, he was working, first of all, which is incredible. Yeah. But he was just, like, talking to, like, just some employee, like, just, like, in his, like, cubicle or whatever. And it's like, yeah, what do you guys think? Yeah.
He stopped us, because we were walking through, and I guess there was some color decision, right? He had, like, these... Something like that, Something with colors, I remember. And he's like, what do you guys think would be the right color for blah, 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 blah? And anyway, we gave him our thoughts, and he's like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm so and so. He introduced himself, and then again, like as we were going for the tour, like, I forget the buyer's name who was showing us around, but they're like, "Oh yeah, that's Tony was the guy's name," and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's where Tony works," and like it was just like in with everybody else, like he didn't have his own office or like it was just like right there in the heart of it, in the meat of it. And I thought it was really nice. And other nice people in the industry. Canadian Penny writes, sounds like Simons. Yeah, the Simons people, mwah, just the nicest, just so nice. Wonderful people to work with. Jeremy Didson, I miss when Zappos carried the good Naked Famous Denim. I remember getting my perfect cell and elephant weird guys. Yes, Zappos, they were really trying to go for that luxury market. I think that's a very difficult play. So they had like this separate entire business where it was Zappos Luxury, and we were part of that side. And so as that kind of, sunsetted, so did our, partnership with Zappos. But, we've always maintained a friendly relationship with the people there. And, I think that they're really... a stand-up organization. Another thing that they did, this is a Zappos cheer party. I remember even they would invite us to, they would do a lot for animals. And I remember one time we went to like, they were like doing this fundraiser for like their local animal shelters and things like that. And I thought that was really nice as well. They were big on that. So, there you go. See, that Zappos party still memorable in my mind.
Memorable, yeah.
And we had a couple of them. And then what happened in Vegas for the most part, as far as trade shows, pre-2020, trade shows were kind of, they were on, I feel like they were
our
on the
realm of apparel
big
industry.
decline.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still a big deal in like different parts of apparel industry.
If you're mass market, they're still that. But in the like indie brand scene, you know, for a while the indie brands were very hot. Like, you know, the best stores in America, and there was always, you know, everyone would come to these shows where all these indie brands would be. And that's where you would discover new, you'd get to meet with, you know, brands that might have been hard to get, and we were all together. So there's this indie brand scene going on. And there was one show that really led that image. And they got acquired by a bigger show. And the bigger show, maybe they didn't really know how to manage that right. But I wouldn't even say that, because I just think that the industry as a whole, as hot as like indie brands were, there were a lot of shops that popped up to try and, you know, capitalize on that wave. And maybe that wave wasn't big enough for the amount of shops that were seemingly kind of showing up. So as much as there was business happening between retailers and brands, a lot of the retailers came and went. And when there's not enough retailers, you know, the amount of brands that can exist kind of become fewer and fewer because there's not enough of a market for it. And then the traffic to the shows start to die. And then, you know, I just remember being at that last February 2020 show and thinking, this might be it. This might be it. And then March 2020 happened and the world stopped. And I remember, you know, in March 2020 talking to Brandon and being like, yeah, we'll be back at the trade shows in June, right? Like they said 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks will be, yeah, it'll take 2 weeks to get over. This is just a 2 week thing. And then
he mentions this like
all the time. It's one of my favorite mentions. So that really drove the nail in the coffin of indie brands in Vegas.
Well, just you know, doing business at trade shows, like that was, like you said, it was already, you know, in the decline.
Yeah.
With, you know, obviously the internet and all that stuff. But like with COVID, like it was just like we were forced to do business over the internet. Like, you know, we were like brands were forced to like have, you know, digital line sheet and like good pictures by the time, because before then, like a lot of brands would go to a trade show with actual samples, but a line sheet was just like a CAD, like a computer generated line art of the items. Yeah, because you pick it in person, so you just, you know, this is just like a reminder. Yeah. Whereas, like, now, like, we have to have pictures. We have to have the complete samples available.
And the way you take online. Your orders are all on iPad now. Right. Like, there's all these apps and applications for it.
Printed.
I used to write orders by hand.
I was actually not where, like, we were printing the order sheet. I think maybe I'll tail end of it into the industry. But, like... Yeah, like I would have Excel sheet. Everything was Excel.
I had like that carbon paper ledger. Right. You know, it was like
you guys are using that way too like.
I would write it by hand, and then I'd rip it out of the thing, and I'd give it to you. That's your order. I have your order here, and I'll take it back to the office. And if I lost that piece of paper, good God,
that's it.
Don't do it. Don't lose that piece of paper.
But also, like, even after that, we would have line sheet printed out, and people would mark them, and then they would walk away and, like, leave that, like, marked note. Or, like, if they left it with us, like, it's fine at least, but, like, they would leave, like, other brands marked line sheet on our table.
That was so normal.
Like, it's like, oh, no, I don't have your notes.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't have my notes.
Yeah, so they'd have a catalog, and they'd go through the line, and then in the pictures in the catalog, they'd circle it.
Yeah. And they write something down.
And like, oh, that's what I like. That's what I like. That's what I'm going to order. And then, like you said, you know, they would leave our booth to go, you know, to the next appointment. And then you'd find, like, other brands' catalogs in your booth because somebody left it. And you're like, who left this over here? And
and we don't really care. To be fair, first of all, you don't write down your name, so we can't like hunt them down and give it to them. But also, like, what are we gonna do with it? We can't hold on to all these things. But at least if you left it with the brand that you sold, then at least maybe they can hold on to it. And
But yeah, those shows were very interesting. And then the last time we went to Vegas, I think it was 2022. Yeah, in the summertime. And this was like the first time Vegas was open again for business, for trade shows. So we landed, and the venue was different. It was a little off the strip. It was a different trade show. We'd never done this trade show before, a big one. And, we're there, and it's all massive brands. Polo, Ralph Lauren is there, Seven for All Mankind is there, Citizen Jeans, Levi's, big brands, big booths. But it was a mix. So, shoe brands are over here, ladies swimwear was over there, and, all the different categories had their own little sections. And so we were here. I don't remember what brand we were next to, but something. Levi's was we were next to Levi's? Yeah. Okay. And so, adjacent kind of world, right? But, just over there in front of us was how can I say it? The suits were they had more sparkles than I think they had cotton in them, right?
Oh, they probably have no cotton.
There's no cotton in that suit. It was, and these booths, they were full of sparkly suits. Just the worst.
20 booths like that, all in a cluster.
Yeah.
And they were all
packed,
busy with buyers.
And I'm
the people at least.
I'm the world, I don't know where you would even buy a suit like that.
Who is wearing those?
Yeah.
Other than maybe
if you're a singer,
right, like a performer, magician, things like that.
But
those people don't shop at a retail store that stocks them. You would order from a brand.
It was bizarre. And you'd have these sparkly suits with sparkly cowboy boots and just sparkly belts, and I'm just what is happening? We can't be at the same trade show. As much as the people who were in the trade show were nice, and there were nice people there. I'm not disparaging them, but the fact that is a busy booth, and we were as dead could be, because a lot of our retailers, they were we're not going to Vegas, there's nothing for us to there, and we figured, maybe we'll get some, we'll meet some new people.
Yeah, and we did have some buyers that only goes to Vegas because they don't want to travel all the way to New York or whatever.
Right, they were closer.
Yeah,
but boy, it was a big mistake. We wasted a lot of time there. We actually won best denim brand at the show. So they had
best menswear.
Yeah, something like that. There was, the show would have an awards, these are the hot brands, and we won.
Yeah.
And
they came with a
plaque?
Trophy, but a plaque. When I was just by myself in the booth and just kind of doing emails.
Yeah.
And then they came and it's please pose with the plaque. Congratulations. And they came with the camera and it's okay, thank you.
It was nice, but I think I was out getting a coffee and the lineup was forever a mile long. That's just how it is at trade shows. But nowadays we don't do Vegas anymore. I miss Vegas. I'd like to go back again at some point, but that's just the way the industry has moved. It's now shifted towards Paris is hot again. It was for a while kind of a little bit slow, but it seems like a lot of people are going there. New York is okay. It has up and down, but it seems like a lot of people are going there again as well. And then there's another show in Chicago that we did a few times, but we just decided not to go there this time. But that seems to be where the action is, trade show wise. Anyways, this is just insider. This is business talk. Mm-hmm. Business talk. Kenny Ingram, wow, Bahzad dropping names. The S word, 7 for all mankind. Yeah, 7 jeans. I used to wear 7 jeans when I was, that was the first real pair of designer jeans I bought. 7 jeans. You know, I probably had some Guess and Polo jeans here and there, but like, I think 7 set the world on fire with the concept of the denim, like the premium denim brand. They started that category. Yeah, more so than like maybe, I don't know. You think back to like Calvin Klein and things like that, Jordache and Sergio Valente in the 80s. Maybe I just felt like those were brands that made everything. You know, you go to Calvin Klein, of course they had jeans, but they had jackets, they had shirts, they had everything, right? But 7 was, we just make these jeans. And like, especially when they came out, it was like practically one model of jean. Like, that's it. Now they make everything. But when that hit, after 7, then like Citizens and, you know, Tavernides and True Religions and like all these just LA Hudson jeans, like these jeans brands just showed up. And some of them stuck around, some of them not so much, and you know, now they do all kinds of products. But yeah, that was the one that I think got me into like, oh, these are nice jeans. Yeah,
yeah,
these are nice. And then my interests, I'm like, what's better? And then you know, that's where I started digging. But I have to shout them out. I think I probably had like 7 or 8 pairs of those at some point. They're definitely all in my mom's house still. But yeah, Canadian Penny writes, have to jump off. Kids are getting home. But has anyone asked you yet about the Spring Garden Selvedge? You know, when is it dropping? Just love the idea of a subtle colored weft.
Yeah,
well,
we haven't talked about it so much.
That one's coming soon. Probably in a month.
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks to a month. It's coming out. So in March, it's gonna come out. We'll. I think I have the sample of it here. I'll show that off in a bit. But before we do that, everybody, it's a little past the 1 hour mark. So you know what that means. We need to manifest some likes. If you haven't hit that like button just yet, hit it.
I'm going to manifest that you hit it.
That's it. Just tap that like button. Let us know that you appreciate the kind of live stream work that we do. Last week, I asked you guys to kindly call your friends and tell everybody what was going on, and tell Grandma. Grandma would hit the like button as well. Grandma would appreciate it. So
and subscribe. Grandma wants to be updated.
That's it. You know, she might not be able to watch every one of these live streams, but she sure wants to know what's going on. So hit the like button. Tell her what's going on. Tell her to watch the replay. Tell her to leave a comment in the comment section below after this video is done being live, and let us know where she's tuning in from. We love you, Grandma.
You know that I just realized? I should probably show my grandma a YouTube video of us talking, and she would probably be happy because she probably doesn't understand that it's not an achievement to be on YouTube.
No, it
but
is.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest
It looks like I'm on TV.
Yeah.
It looks like it.
Look, Bradley Pitt is on YouTube. William Ferrell is on YouTube. I'm on YouTube.
Right. Same.
BD writes, tried to call my grandma, but the Ouija board call didn't connect. Good news. You can just send the message, beam it up to her with your love and your brain power. She's going to receive that message from you. Absolutely. Ouija board not required. Chief Miggy writes, Bahzad, will the Dia de los Muertos have a jacket or only jeans? Right now it's only jeans. We are doing a strong guy Dia de los Muertos, so that's coming. Super guy, weird guy, easy guy, strong guy, and ladies. So, but no jacket planned.
It's not a bad idea. The denim is really nice and soft, and the Selvedge idea would be really like a good accent.
Yeah.
But we need,
Oh, Jeremy Didson's grandma is manifesting an Indigo Elephant 7 or an Akuma denim in True Guy. Well, sir, your grandma has done some great work. Your grandma has done some fantastic work because coming this fall winter 24, we will bring back the Akuma denim. It will not be called the Akuma denim because it will not have the Akuma details, but it will be the exact same fabric base coming back with the Naked and Famous Denim detailing on it. It's going to be called the Shinigami Selvedge.
And it's going to be available in True Guy.
Damn right. So that is coming soon. I don't have the sample here, but it is coming this fall. You guys know that fabric. You've seen that fabric before. The 18 ounce big slub. Very, very a lot of emphasis on the vertical streaking on that denim. One of the best black fading jeans out there. This is a good year for black fading jeans. MIJ 13.
I was just thinking that. That's
Shinigami Selvedge. Two heavy hitters. This is like Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa. Steroids in full effect. For black fading denim. We juiced them up. Good, and the results show. A
lot of love for black.
That's it. BD writes, elephant with Texas cotton, a beastly 23 ounce and 1 ounce above the usual. I think our maximum that we've ever made in Canada is 23 ounce, and that's with the King of Slub.
Right.
Yeah. I would like to do a little heavy. At one point I was trying to push us to do like a 25 ouncer, but things really started to get complicated.
Yeah.
and the King of Slub works because it's not as rigid. Because they're sewing it when it's rigid. I think it's the loose.
Rigider. It's just like it's so bumpy. Like it's so bumpy.
Yeah.
That it has its own like. If they could sew that, I would feel like they can sew 25 that is flat.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know.
It causes a lot of problems.
Yeah. And also, I think we just, like, at the end of the day, we don't want to put out anything that is not the quality that we want. So if it's going to struggle, then it's going to show.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. And then I think the other problem is just the fear. Maybe it's doable, but the fear of a machine going down. Because if machines go down, then it messes up the entire production line, and your efficiency goes down, the costs go up. How long is it going to take for the mechanic to come in to fix it? If you need to replace a part, it becomes a whole thing. So sometimes it's better to avoid the problem than it is to, because if that problem comes, it may not be a problem, but if that problem does show up, it's going to be a big problem. So there's a little bit of that we have to deal with as well. Chris Griffin writes, BD, because everything is bigger in Texas. It's true, everything is bigger in Texas. Chief Miggy writes, I bought a Wonder Looper double heavyweight, and I'm excited for it to arrive. Good man.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy it very much. Speaking of bigger, that's a beefy hoodie right there. Chief Miggy also writes, will the Wonder Looper blue hoodie come out in a zipper version or only pullover?
Everything will come out in zip and pullover.
That's it.
And all the fits.
And crew, yeah. Okay. BD writes, okay, I take it back. 22 ounce elephant rough Texas cotton, smooth-ish possible. Well, we could probably do a smooth interior with a, like, we did the hard and soft denim. So that was like a Texas short staple on the outside, and then I forget what we used on the inside, but it was some kind of long staple or smooth denim on the inside. And so that was a kind of a mix. So like the outside would get like rough and kind of, I would say, rocky looking and staticky looking in terms of fading, and then it would be comfortable on the inside. So I thought that was like kind of a nice combo. Jeremy writes, Sea Island cotton denim, black, possible in the future? Yeah,
possible.
Everything is possible in black. Forever Black is also something we're working on. So Forever Blue is coming back for Fall Winter 24.
So for those of you who want the dark denim look and you don't want to fade, Forever Blue is coming back, and then Forever Black is gonna follow for those of you who are just want a black jeans. Don't want to, like, I really get that, like, the point of that a lot. Like, sometimes you just want really dark black and you don't want it to show like whites, you know, in different places. I totally get that.
That's to say, like, with the Forever Blue and the Forever Black, it's not that they are impossible to fade. If you wear them like you wear like raw jeans as hard as humanly possible, they'll fade. They're not going to fade with high contrast because they're not going to be rope dyed. They'll be dyed to the core, but you can still fade colors.
You can see that, like, it's like you're wearing, black t-shirts. Over time, the t-shirt is going to be lighter shades of black.
Yeah.
But it's not like you wash it one time and the black bleeds to, everything.
So, we'll be very... I guess, good with the explanation of that when it comes out. I just want people to understand that this is not impossible to fade. It's just very difficult to fade.
The point is to not fade.
Brandon Ballesteros writes, love seeing you active on r/raw denim. You added to my comment about the MIJ13s. Yeah, thank you very much. Two things happened in the raw denim subreddit this week. Somebody made a comment, and I thought it was a good one. It wasn't a comment, it was a thread, and it was like, why all the hate for Naked and Famous Denim? Sometimes we talk about like the forums like hating on us, and all of the messages in there were overwhelmingly positive. Like, they were just like, I don't hate them, and then everyone was like, no, I love them, and it was just like, it was a love fest, and I was so happy to read it, and I'm like, that's the thing, it's sometimes just, it's a couple of loudmouths who have opinions on us, which everyone's allowed to have an opinion, whether they're based in reality. Anyhow, I don't want to get negative on that, but look, you don't have to like us, but my only ask is that the criticisms are like, real in some way. If you don't like our logo, you don't like our hardware, you don't like our fits, whatever, fine, okay. But sometimes like the arguments are so so in left field that I'm just like, nothing can possibly please. Like, if this logic carried on through like the rest of the person's life, like, this is just a miserable person. Anyhow, I meant it. I meant that a lot. But yeah.
So that's one.
That's one. Mm-hmm. And then there was like another one where, like, again, like the comment of it was just such an off base comment, and I sometimes, like, I really don't respond to that, but like it was so off base. It was like, I don't understand why anyone would buy like Naked and Famous MIJ. Like, what's the point of a Canadian company making things in Japan? And like, I don't remember the whole comment about it. It was like, middlemen and outsourcing the production. And I'm just like, the companies here also don't, like, they don't own the factories that their products are made in, right? And like, the gush fest that some people might have for like, oh, these brands are so much better. I'm like, they're made in the same factories. Like, the factories that our jeans are made in your other favorite brand is made in the same place. Like they're factories that produce for high-end production. We all go through the same channels. Like it just like so like being on this side of the, I don't know, mirror, I guess is that, maybe that's not the right term. Like, you know, there's so much that I see that people don't know or don't understand, and like there's just so much fantasy in their brain, and it's like, how can you like write with such confidence and have zero understanding of how any of this works?
It's also, yeah, it's...
I'm impressed by that. To be fair, I am always impressed by someone who knows very little and just has a loud mouth.
Yeah, but it's also that, like, the information, like, you know, like, a lot of Japanese brands, you know, for a good reason, like, maybe they're not, like, they're Japanese people, so they're not, like, so active in English, like, you know, world, like, talking about their own things. I don't think they're actively, like, trying to deceive it. It's just that, like, the lack of communication from the brand side is, like, you know, has, like, kind of developed this, like, you know, myths you know, like, you know, like the stories about, like, oh, how, you know, this is how it's done and this must be how it's done because, you know, they don't dispute it. It's like, not that they don't dispute it, it's just they're just not paying attention to all this.
They also don't even understand what you people are saying.
And also, like, because of that, like, just like there is no, you know, like, you know, when you're being transparent, like, you are vulnerable to, you know, criticisms and, you know, things like that. Whereas, like, when you don't disclose anything, like, people that can't criticize you because they don't know you. Like, they don't know what's going on behind the door. And that's just kind of, like, unfair, like, thing about this, like, equation where it's like, but, like, they're just, like, we understand it. We're not going to talk, you know, we're not going to spill the beans of, all, you know, everything about the industry or anything like that. But it's just, like, it's, like...
Yeah, I can't take a criticism that, like, wouldn't, like, you wouldn't apply that same logic to, you know, some of the other brands that you like. Every now and then, a Japanese brand, and I'm not trying to rag on them. I'm ragging on the people who criticize us, like, in, like, this unfair comparison. And it's like, sometimes the Japanese brand will do a made in USA production. And I really don't see you crying online about, oh my God, they're doing made in America. How could they possibly outsource their, I'm like, you know, it's just this absolute not, and it's not even a real criticism. It's just like, if you don't like me, just say it. You don't have to like me. Just say, I don't like that guy. That guy, he's got an annoying voice. He looks stupid. I don't like him. And anything he does, I don't like it. Perfectly fine. I don't care. But, like, when you're trying to construct these notions and put them out there, they're based in any kind of reality, I'm like, you know, sometimes I just let it go. You know, people can write whatever stupid they want thing on the internet. I can't police everything. But sometimes they're so bad that I'm just like, I actually have to say something.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, like, I think maybe just, like, the understanding of, like, you know, again, there's a constructive criticism about outsourcing your, you know, production to another country. Yeah. But I think this person missed the point. It's not that the fact that, like, you know, making something in another country is bad. Yeah. It's that there is a problematic, like, sequence of events that happens in a lot of the cases where, you know, a big company, like, try to, like, save money and outsource it to, like, countries where the labor is cheaper.
Right, yeah. But this is not this scenario. Yeah.
In Japan, to make things in Japan is way more expensive than especially for us to make something in Canada in our own factory. So it's... Yeah.
And then there was a part about it, like, you know, they're this Canadian company. Why would they make it in China? And I'm like, I live here. I live in Japan. So now what? So now it's okay? This is the Naked and Famous office in Japan. Here it is. We operate here in Japan. We work with the mills. We can, like, do business quickerly this way, faster communication. So what? So now what? So, okay, now, that criticism is gone? There's a sorry? There's no sorry, right? It's just... Anyways, nonsense. But all I can say is, sorry, I know that was negative. But the positive post that came up of like where it started, like why is all the hate there? And I'm like, like I'm click on it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be, everyone's gonna vent their frustration. And you know what? Everyone showed their love and their appreciation. And even people were like, well, it's not for me, but I do appreciate the kinds of stuff that they make. I like the fabrics. The fits don't work for me. Whatever. That's fine. If you don't like us because the fits don't work for you, that's fine. Our fits aren't going to work for everybody. But like, to actively try and like rip something apart, and again, based on nothing, whew, nonsense. But we had so much love. We were winning so hard. And I really appreciated that post. I appreciated the wonderful people in there who shared their love. And that's the thing, when I worked in the department store, or even, you go on a Google review or anything like that, negativity shines, right? When I worked at the department store, we would have this thing where if and it would happen, customers would write letters to the store, or they would go to customer service and they say, I received excellent customer service. I was in here today, I was shopping, blah, blah, blah. And, maybe they'd leave a little note. And maybe people don't do that so much anymore, but when I was working there, people did that. And when we'd have our morning meeting, the store would all get together. The manager of the store would say, hey, you know what, such and such received, a letter from a customer, and he would share it with everybody, about, the special customer service story that they had. And he said this, and I always kept this to heart, that like, he's like, for every one of these, it represents 10 people. Or even more, because people, when they receive good service, they don't often, write, they don't often take the time to write about it.
Yeah.
Like, well,
you might come back,
right,
but you're not leaving a review. That's right. I'm guilty of that 100%. Right.
We all do that. That's normal. But when you receive bad service, people are quick. And so when you go on a retailer's like Google profile, right? And it's just, if it's full of negativity, you can see that, okay, maybe there's a problem here. But if it's overwhelmingly full of positivity, that one positive review is worth 10 bad reviews, right? Because most people aren't going to take the time to even just click the 5-star or leave a little message or whatever it is. So the fact that people do that overwhelmingly, to me is so special. And I know we're doing good. And of course, our live stream and our audience is continuing to grow, because we can't possibly grow if we weren't doing good. We have to do good in order for people to like us. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it works. I'm not paying you guys to be here. Is that viable? No, that's not a viable situation. But you know what I mean? So the only reason we have a good community is because we try to do honest work for you. You appreciate the products that we make, and there's a thank you on both sides. There's a thank you for being great customers. Thank you for being a great audience. Thank you for appreciating the products that we make. And I hear the thank yous back. Thank you for making the nice jeans. Thank you for the customer service. So I love that kind of relationship, right? And that's what I love. There's, anyhow, it's a little bit of, now it's turning into a gush fest, which I should gush over you guys more instead of, getting angry over negativity. But negativity turns into good content, which is why I like to use it sometimes, because if I'm going to get frustrated about something, at least sometimes you like watching me get a little riled up here for you. But everybody, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for all you do. That said, the good question. Pharmacus writes, any update on GODZILLA? The update is, here's the update. The update is, I'm getting to work on developing fabric concepts. That's the update. So my next week's job is writing the script for the collection. The only thing I can say now is that, there's no contracts aren't signed yet. There's nothing signed. we're still in this phase, but the talk went overwhelmingly well, positive, great people there, and I think we're going to be able to. I'm confident that we're going to be able to make this happen. So, yeah. Anyways, you're here. You're here from concept, and you'll be all the way until hopefully birth of this collection, and it will be wonderful. I think it'll be wonderful. So, once I have concepts developed and the contracts are all signed, dotted and crossed, you dot the T's and cross the I's, something like that. Once all, I know, no, cross the T, cross the I's, yeah, dot the T's, put the old John Hancock.
I recently got that expression figured out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I hear it, but I never use it. It was like when somebody said it the other day, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, right. So let us get all that done, and then I can say officially. Then I can say officially. Chief Miggy saying official, not official yet, unofficial.
Yeah, and this is where you come to get the most updated raw information.
Yeah.
So whatever you get here, it's not always official or decided in the public. This is just right between us kind of thing.
Between us, and there's certainly things that could be a bump in the road and it doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. It could be. I can't hold a secret for the life of me. Mm-hmm. I like talking to you guys about stuff. So I'm going to give you...
guys are all insiders.
Yeah, you're all...
because you stick around every week.
So let's manifest this, as we manifest so much positivity.
Yeah, we've manifested a bunch of likes already.
Unbelievable. Look at all the manifested likes, guys. If you haven't manifested the like button yet, hit that button right now, and you're gonna have a good time. You'll have a great day if you hit that like button. It's just part of it. Spreading the power of positivity, spreading it around.
Yeah. And we still haven't seen Godzilla -1.
That's true. We will one day. But it was not available here in Ego. That's Japanese for English. So I just need some English subtitles because my Nihongo is very poor.
You probably could have
I probably could have got the gist of it. Yeah.
Well, you might not get the fine, the details, but we could have enjoyed that the power
size, and the
in
sound.
the screen, and then later make sense in your head.
I am gonna regret not seeing that in theater. We got to see Shin Godzilla in theater. In Montreal, they played one time. Yeah. They played literally once in Montreal, and we got to see it. It was a packed house.
Yeah, I also when this movie came out, I was just I didn't even realize that people, we don't have in Japan. We don't have Japanese movies with. English I get it. Why would we?
Right.
But at the same time, I was just oh yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Even with all these people living in this country now that are not native Japanese.
It's just I don't think it's big enough to support I guess if I was a Japanese viewer and there was this words on the bottom of I don't want to watch a movie with subtitles. You know what I mean?
It is distracting.
It's distracting.
Yeah.
So if I was a Japanese person, I would not appreciate the subtitles being on the screen, and I don't think the theaters could have consistent showings, because there's just not enough of us.
Yeah.
I understand. Anyways, I'll buy the 4K when it comes out.
You'll buy a bigger TV?
I'll buy a bigger TV. That's it. I'll buy a bigger TV.
I'll buy a projector.
See? We're going to manifest this all. Mm-hmm. You just got to say it.
We'll get the theater experience.
Yeah. Jeremy Didson writes, I think the U.S. military has access to English versions of movies, if I'm not mistaken. Well, whatever they have on the base would be...
I think, I think there was one showing, I don't know if it was this one or maybe the Godzilla time, but, like, there was, like, always, like, one or two showing for, like film festival or, like, you know, just that kind of purposes. Even in Japan, there's always like a couple if it's a big movie, but you know, it's like you have to be like, you know, you have to either like really follow the information religiously, because like they usually come out before the theater release.
Right.
So I wasn't paying attention to any of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and if anybody in the chat here is military and is in Japan and wants to get us on that base to enjoy all that sweet, sweet American goodness, let us know. I want to go on that base. I hear there's a Popeyes on the base.
Popeye?
Popeyes chicken.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah. That's amazing. I used to have...
in the country, but it's not. You know what I mean?
And I used to, when I came back from the States and lived there for like a couple of years, I had like a very good friend living on the base, and I did not appreciate. I visited him a couple of times, but I did not appreciate like how, because I was just there, you know, I wasn't really like starving for American things.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that was my regrets.
Yeah, Junior, genuine Southern fast food chicken. Whether it's genuine or not, I don't know. If you say it is, I'll believe you. But it's a great product. Shout out to the good people at the Popeyes Chicken Corporation. It's
impressive.
Yeah.
Popeyes
biscuits are good, but the chicken is a minus, says Pedro. I don't know. Thumbs down. I'm all about it.
Is it like KFC where like it just differs from
location to location?
Because that's what I don't like about KFC.
Yeah,
some locations good.
Yeah. KFC's problem is the inconsistency of location.
Yeah. With Popeyes so far, I've only gotten Popeyes in Canada, but so far it's always good.
Well, one thing I have to say is that if I ever had a dream collab, and this is one of those dream collabs that if you're a long-time viewer of the live stream, and even back in the Instagram live days, then you would know I always wanted to do a KFC Scratch-N-Sniff, you know, original recipe scented Selvedge denim. I still want to do it. I think it would be great. I would have the kernel on the back of the jeans and like, on the leather patch and like, a pose. It would be great. It would be fantastic. I would love to do it. If anybody here knows anybody there at the good people at the KFC Corporation, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. It would be amazing. Chris Griffin writes, I actually emailed KFC a few times asking. I remember trying to call them and like just not being able to get through to anybody.
Do they even have like a licensing department?
They do. They used to make like, even before I had that idea, they used to do kind of funny merch. Like they'd have like a Christmas like log that you would like, you would burn it in your stove. Like
it smells like KFC?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they had a bunch of like funny products, and sometimes they would make like high-end products that were like, KFC themed. I thought they were kind of funny, but original recipe scented jeans, I thought it would be funny and amazing.
So like they already figured out the scent, like.
Well,
like
I mean, they might have a scent profile. They must have worked with a company, Cobbler Online, Arby's cowboy jeans. Yeah, I don't know about that. Curly fries jeans.
I've actually never been to Arby's.
I've never taken you to an Arby's? What kind of husband am I? I'm a bad boy, everybody.
Have you been recently? No. Not in the last 10 years.
Not in the last 10 years. Maybe more than that, even. Mm-hmm. I've not been there since the 2000s to an Arby's.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Never seen you go to Arby's.
Right. Chris Pound writes, chicken scented jeans equals increase in stray dog attacks. Definitely. There's no question.
But where are the stray dogs these days?
I haven't seen a stray dog.
Doesn't exist.
It depends on where you live.
Right. Of course. But, like...
I've never...
In Japan, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Even
in Montreal, I've never seen a stray dog. I've seen stray cats. I've never seen a stray dog.
Right? I don't think I have either.
Yeah. Stray dogs are in some neighborhoods still, Chief Miggy writes. I don't think I've ever seen a stray dog in my life.
Not even in, like, Thailand?
The only thing I saw in Thailand that I guess is not a good story.
Right, yeah.
But anyways, we were walking out of the hotel, and I saw a dog sleeping on the street. And then when I came home, I saw the same dog sleeping on the street in the same spot and hadn't moved since that morning. So I came to the conclusion that that dog was very tired. But that's it. That's as close as I've gotten to that. It was a sleepy dog.
Had a rough night before.
Dog, raccoon, squirrel.
Yeah.
I don't think the raccoons are out to attack. Squirrels, definitely not. Rabid squirrels.
But if you're, like, sitting in the park, like, picnicking, maybe squirrels come on.
Oh, yeah, it'd be cute. It'd be like Cinderella. Well, no, Snow White, with all the animals. It'd be like Ace Ventura.
But do squirrels eat meat? I thought
No,
they
they're
eat acorns.
Yeah. Jameson Keating writes, the Arby stigma is real. My girlfriend has offered to take me there, and I admittedly refuse. LOL. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes good products get really bad raps, and I don't know how they developed that sort of reputation. Anyways, this is not
I don't know what the
reputation
is. Is it just
I think some people find it like a joke. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. When I was young, I went there all the time. Yeah, I went there a lot. Anyhow, good. You know what? Support your local Arby's. Go out there and get a roast beef sandwich. Okay, BD writes, new jean previews. You got it. We're going to talk Spring Garden Selvedge.
Oh,
yeah. So, I just want to bring up the painting that inspired this denim. Hold on a second. Let's just bring it up on the website. Okay, so we have the new Spring Garden Selvedge here, and the idea behind this is, I just want to pull up the painting so you can get a better view.
good view.
Good view. Good views are important for everyone. So I don't remember which live stream episode it was, but at one point somebody had asked, why don't we do jeans based on works of art? And I thought, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. So we did it. And so the Spring Garden Selvedge is a denim with the colors of the weft inspired by a Monet painting. Chris Griffin. That was me. Well, good, Chris, you send me a message, okay?
Gotta give it jean. So this is, it's hard to show. It looks very weird in this light, but it is a dark indigo jean with tonal stitching. Just looks like a regular
like
jean.
A clean, classic raw denim. Excuse a little bit of the fur on there. That's just snowy.
And then
the
on
inside.
the left, it's again with this light, it's very difficult to show. But if you guys remember the Japan Heritage Kasuri that we did a while ago, that was like rainbow, not rainbow, but like a color, like
it was like multicolored dyed yarn.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on here.
But in like a more fainty color.
in a very pastel-like way. So it's the colors that were inspired by the Monet painting. And so you can see shades of purple and green and yellow all in the weft of this denim. And so
it's very subtle.
I thought it was just a beautiful way to incorporate, another thing that can inspire a jean. And so whether you're a fan of the artwork or you just happen to like, colorful wefts, this is a colorful weft that isn't so in your face.
Yeah,
right?
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
You can definitely see it in real life when you're looking at it like this. But like when you're looking at it like down in somebody's like, around
cuff.
the cuff, like you might not even see it.
Yeah.
And you look at it closely, it's very nice. It's very pretty.
I feel like the subtleness of it also kind of just lends itself to the artwork as well.
Right, exactly. It's
like,
not a vivid, like modern art kind of art. It's more like soft.
Yeah,
and
soft and beautiful.
Yeah.
So that was the inspiration for the Spring Garden Selvedge Monet's artwork. So maybe we'll do some more artwork-inspired jeans down the line. Of course, it will all depend on you. If you guys like this, you'll show your appreciation. If it's a good seller, then we'll know that there's an appetite for this type of product. But I think it's going to be a success. I think it's going to be a winner.
And this denim also is 12 ounce, something like
12 ounce, I believe.
But it does feel really drapey.
Yeah.
It drapes a lot.
Yeah.
It feels like it's got a lot of dye. Like it's got this like wetness that some denim has.
That's true. And it also has a navy pull-up leather patch, and we call it pull-up leather because as you pull it up, you can see some of the color come through. Maybe it's hard to see in there, but it is full of dye, and it's not black. It's just a deep dark indigo here. So a very beautiful leather patch to go with it as well. So that is the Spring Garden Selvedge. It's going to be coming out in March. I believe we just got the production in the warehouse today. So once we get that packed and shipped out to our retailers, we'll set up a release date for that. But this one's going to be coming out real soon.
Yeah. So next week is MIJ Okayama Spirit Kuro.
Yes.
Which is black.
Yeah.
And then the week following is another jean.
I think it's going to go Broken Twill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Broken Twill Slub Stretch Selvedge. I don't think I have it here. Sorry, don't have it.
Well, next time maybe.
Womp womp.
But yeah.
But our classic Slub Stretch Selvedge now available in a Broken Twill.
Yeah. So we have been like taking a big break from Broken Twill for years. We didn't do it. I think the last time we did it was Elephant.
Might have been.
So we haven't done that, but now we're bringing back Broken Twill.
I like doing Broken Twills every now and then because I don't want people to forget that it's an option out there. And our Slub Stretch Selvedge has always been a real winner for a lot of people. Of course, more and more people are getting into there's two kinds of people I find that are getting into stretch denim these days. It's a lot of the folks who are coming from, I wore comfort jeans and I'm getting into raw denim. This is an easy way for me to do it. They're comfortable, they're easy to wear. And then there's the people who are like, I've worn all the hardcore for long enough. I'm taking a holiday and I'm going to be comfortable. And so
I've been wearing Nightshade that you gave me, Strong Guy, and like I forgot because like I have really not been wearing any stretch for years and years at this point. Well, that's not true. Maybe a few years, a couple of years, and like it really does like make a big difference. And like when I sit down, it's just like I was like, oh. This is nice.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like in that position now, the later person.
Because the later person is also like, I'm not trying to impress anybody. I just want to be comfortable. And for the stretch haters out there, because I don't know why. I really don't. But we'll make a video about like a stretch jean, and there'll always be like one comment in there that's just like really ragging on it. Sorry, I don't want to get into negative land again, but I am gonna. There was one comment the other day where somebody said something about like, talking about our quality, I guess, and they're like, you make typos on your pocket flashers, and I'm like, yeah, that's because like typos are inevitable, but we also make pocket flashers, and like every jean has its own uniquely designed pocket flasher.
Like you don't understand that other brands make 1 or 2 jeans a year. We make like 30.
Yeah, but even then, they use the same pocket flash because it's just their logo or whatever, and like they just use the same pocket, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But my point is, it's like that you're gonna rag on me for that, where it's like, come on.
We don't have a person dedicated to like just check on all the like printed materials. We're too busy for that, and sometimes we try not to make a mistake, but. It does happen, and that's not really like I mean that's a very like cheap shot, I guess.
And it's me. I'm like, look, guys, if you ever read the emails I sent, they're full of spelling mistakes and grammar errors because I suck at writing. I just do. And like what I write, I read it in my brain like it's correct, but sometimes it's not correct. And the same thing happens even when, maybe that I'll send the text to the graphic artist who we work with. Here's what, it should say. And, sometimes they might make a mistake. And because I expect to see a jean, say 12.5 ounce or 14 ounce, if they maybe wrote it wrong, it could be me, it could be them, it could be there's a lot of things down the line. But because I'm expecting to see something, sometimes that's what I see. So it's so, everybody understands how this works, but it's just like, come on, that was such a cheap shot. Mm-hmm. I'm like, give me a good shot. Give me something good. Give me a good, anyhow.
Good criticism.
A good criticism.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it. Power of positivity.
Yeah.
Power of positivity. I'm gonna stay there.
What we were talking about.
I'm gonna stop doing that. Okay. What do we got here in the chat? Melody Murray, good to see you. I sized up 2X on my last pair, and they fit perfectly after washing them in warm water. Fantastic. A little bit of extra room always goes a long way, right? More room is better than no room. So keep that in mind when sizing. We're also going to be updating the measurement guide video. Realize that video has been up for a very, very long time, and it could use a refresh. So that's going to be
one of our best performing videos.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of sad to take it down. I'm not taking it down. It's just on the product pages on the website. Like we'll replace it with the new one. So that's coming soon-ish. So expect to see Garrett's handsome face all over that instead of my not as handsome face. Ever think about blue bomber jeans? I've never thought about that ever once.
What is that?
In my life. I don't know.
Blue bomber?
Maybe you're thinking about Mega Man, known as the Blue Bomber, known as Rockman in this part of the world. Oh, Pharmacus, I meant double entendres for Mega Man, Rockman, and for Winnipeg. Oh, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Yeah, it's a sports team. No, they're the Winnipeg Jets. The Blue Bombers, I believe, are their CFL team. Obviously, everybody here, they may have watched the Super Bowl last week, but the real football action happens in Canadian football and in the CFL. Everybody knows that. Have I been? I don't think I've ever been to a CFL game.
Doesn't surprise me.
I haven't been to a lot of sports games. To be perfectly fair, I have not been to a lot of sporting games. Chris Pound writes on what about Sonic themed jeans? Sonic Tails, Robotnik, Knuckles. I'm not opposed to it. At one point, we were talking to Sega. This is years ago. My concept, we had some talks, but nothing really. Maybe I think we didn't pursue it. But what I wanted to make was, and I guess this was my question for them because they had a bunch of Sega properties, like we have Sonic, this, that, a bunch of. And I'm like, what about the consoles? Because I thought it would be cool to do jeans based off of Sega consoles. Master System, Game Gear, Genesis, 32X, Sega CD, Dreamcast. Did I say Saturn? If I didn't, Saturn. I thought, Saturn has some like very iconic advertising. Dreamcast, very iconic advertising. Yeah. Yeah, Sega Satanshiro. So I thought that would be kind of cool. And in the Genesis days, they had an ad campaign that said, "Welcome to the next level." And I thought that would be kind of cool to like embroider on a back pocket or something. But yeah. That didn't pan out, but I maybe, who knows? We got a long future ahead of us. So I will never say never. I definitely grew up with Sonic the Hedgehog, and I'm very familiar with the property. So yeah, I wouldn't say no. Hero Heritage, good to see you in the house. LOL, just reminding them how they lost the console wars.
Maybe it's a sore spot for them.
Maybe. Clobber Online writes, the Nomad, the Sega Nomad. I had a friend with a Sega Nomad, and I thought that it was incredible.
Don't know what that is.
So the Sega Nomad was a Sega Genesis, an entire Sega Genesis, in your hands with a screen, so you could play full home console games in your hands. Mind you, the thing was like, a chunky brick, but like so was the Game Gear. So you could play full console Genesis games in your hand. I thought that was incredible. I only knew one kid with one, and he never brought that thing to school, ever. Like, that thing would have got stolen so fast. But he had it in his house, and I thought it was awesome. I thought it was such a cool thing. I own a lot of consoles. There are two consoles in the Sega universe that elude me, and that is the Nomad, which also only came out in North America. It never came out in Japan. And then there was also another console called the CDX, which was a Genesis Sega CD console the size of a Discman. Which it blows your mind, because my Sega CD console itself was the size of a VCR. And then that was underneath a Genesis, which was also the size of a VCR. So that was a Sega Saturn stack. But now you had it in your hands, and you could also use it as a CD player on the go. So very, very cool that Sega made that. They made a lot of weird things. Maybe they were too expensive at the time for a lot of people. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I knew, like, I grew up with Game Boy. I knew a bunch of kids who had Famicom. And later PlayStation. I think we even had like the first edition
of the PlayStation.
Yeah, first PlayStation. But like I don't think I knew anybody with Sega machines.
Yeah, I don't think Sega machines were as popular here as they were in the West. In the West, Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis were really head to head for a long time.
That's weird though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that commercials.
Yeah.
Sega
Satanshiro. Yeah, those are big.
That was like so big.
Yeah.
It sometimes randomly like plays in my head too. Like it's just incredible.
Sega Saturn was very big in Japan and a dud in the West. Complete dud.
Solely because of the commercial, I would imagine.
Maybe. Well, we didn't have those commercials in the West.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
That's why it was so popular here,
maybe.
I'm sure.
Right. David Dixon writes, I still have my MD recorder. And then Chris Pound writes, did you ever have any mini disc players and records? Oh, I was a big mini disc enthusiast. Huge. I still have a bunch, and I want to buy some. There's like an MZN1, which was like the last, or MZN10, which was like the last mini disc that came out, and it was like a net MD. Anyways, I see them online, and they still want like $400 or $500 for one. Don't want to pay that much, but love mini discs. I love them so much, and
that was like that was a good time. That was like fun time. I had the most fun with it.
Hold on.
I actually had all of the like cassette tapes. I had a CD player, CD Walkman. I had the MD. Like I had so many mini discs. Like because mini disc was like the height of my like middle school, high school era. So like I had the time to like input all the like I had the time to copy the CDs onto mini disc. And had time even to like enter the titles and put together a playlist and all that stuff. Like I did that in my room a lot. Like I spent a lot of time with that. So that was good times. And I went to the States and I realized that people there, like some people just entirely skipped the part of minidisc era and went straight from CDs to MP3s, which is like, to me, it was just like, that was like so many years of my life. Like I was fully minidisc. So it's interesting. I also really liked the sound that minidisc makes, that kind of sound when you like insert that disc and stuff. So that's good times. Yeah, well, while Bahzad looks for his treasures, I had the MZR55. Sorry, I don't really know what that means. But, so, like, I went from having no, like, titles showing in my minidisc to, I guess that was Sony? Was that Sony? Like, that like a tube remote that like turns like at the edge to like play and pause and all that, with like the title coming up in the middle with the screen, running screen. Like when I first got that, I was just like, okay, this is it. This is all I want, all I ever wanted from my music players. And that was just that was so amazing. That design, that remote design was incredible. I still think it's a great design. We should bring that back. It was a portable MD recorder. Oh, yeah. I never had a portable recorder. I didn't really get the point of that.
Here's Bahzad's pile of collectible, not really collectible, electronical junk. And so I love old electronics. I like collecting them. Here's a fun one. Here's the first Discman. They didn't even call it a Discman at this point.
Because it's not portable. You have to plug that in.
This was a speaker attachment for it. And, you can detach it like this. So it operated on its own, and this definitely didn't have any anti-skip or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But this was the first.
But they also kind of meant it to be put on a
desk or something like that, right? So you'd listen to it. It's not as portable as right. a proper thin CD player, but they definitely got thinner. And I remember this was a model that I had back in my high school days, and this was pretty high spec model, but super thin, basically the size of a jewel case. And
this was such a great design. And then it's so cool.
And then this was the last CD Walkman. So just the history of it going from that chunky boy over there to this guy, and they figured they couldn't get it any thinner, so let's just shave off a few millimeters here. So
I like that. Yeah. It's more like a UFO vibe.
And then this one could do MP3s, so MP3 CDs. Remember those? So it went from this to this in, I don't know, more than a decade. It took a while to get here, but I mean, as far as thinness goes, huge improvement. This thing, look how small this thing is. Yeah. It's crazy. Very lightweight also. Do I have a battery in there still? Good, I don't, because it would have leaked all over the place. Yeah, this is good stuff, they write. The design of that MP3 looks so cool. They used to spend a lot of time designing these things, and like, you know, this mini disc player, MZR55, you know, they were metal, right? And like this sound. That sound.
Yes.
That's it.
I was just talking about that. This is just so nostalgic.
The mechanism isn't great.
Yeah.
And it would just, look at that, cool. It would just pop out. Like, if it was better, it would pop out. Cool, eh? And then those were the discs. And you could record on them like a tape. So yeah.
Or CD.
Or CD.
More like a CD.
I say more like a tape because you had to do it in real time. It was a real time recording. When NetMD came out, it wasn't real time. And for all those suckers who are out there buying like that Apple, you know, Vision product, guys, Sony already figured that out in like 1998 with this bad boy right here, okay? Now, if you were a real player, you know, if you were a real pimp, you had one of these.
And, okay, so, first of all, this is very sleek looking.
Super sleek looking. Look at how cool I look.
Look, turn to the left. Look how this works.
Yeah, it's got earbuds.
It's earbuds, and it's like you kind of. I guess you have to.
I would have to like really arrange this on my head. I don't know. And then it would also. I think there's a shutter here. Yeah, so the shutter would move up so I can see what's going on in real life. And then when I have no interest in you, I would drop the shutter like I am right now, and I could just, you know, watch whatever I want. So this would connect to like a video source, and yeah, I could be, you know, I could probably technically connect a computer monitor up to this with a little fandangling and a lot of wires. But
it looks like the third member of Daft Punk.
I am. So anyhow. Sony Glasstron. Look at how cool this design was. What a wonderful product this was. And Sony just doesn't get the respect that I think it deserves in terms of product design. Apple gets all the respect, which they definitely deserve. But
I just love the analogness of this.
Yeah.
Like where you pull out the earbud port and then you pull back in. Like this.
Yeah, it's great.
It's awesome.
It's really good. It would suck once those earbuds died, which they probably are dead. But anyhow, the good people at Sony, they knew the future yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, Sony Glasstron. Find a pair on eBay and enjoy the future. Okay. Well, that's some of my electronical junk. What else do I have in here? Power adapter.
But yeah, like, why do people not make, you know, revolutionary things like this, designs like this anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is awesome. I still want it. Like, I want it for my, like, you know, like, if I had, like, a thing like this that's connected to my phone.
Right.
Yeah, I'll put it in here, and then I'll just, you know, do things like that.
Yeah, this was.
I don't want an Apple Watch.
Yeah, this was a lifesaver in high school. So I would have like my MP3, my like MIDI disc or my CD player in my pocket or in my backpack, and then I would have this like connected into like the inside of my jacket like this, and then I would have like my headphones go wrap around the back of my head. I had long hair, so you couldn't see it, and then I'd just be like, "Yeah, I'm listening to music in class."
Like, to me, like, you know, when you're, like, packed into the packed train, like, commuter trains, like, you can't get out your, like, thing to, like, you know, skip a song or whatever. So, like, having the remote was very important.
David Dixon, Bahzad's show and tell should be a segment. Well, maybe it shall. Next week I'll find some other ones
Weird
of my
things.
random collection stuff to give you guys a tour of Bahzad's collections of junk. Christopher Colin writes, when I was at Sega, I won a CDX at a company party.
Ooh.
That's awesome. I hope you kept it, because that is a very rare device, a very rare treat. Pharmacus says they still make dongle DACs that work like that, Risa.
Really?
Do they? That have the, like, track control. That'd be kind of cool.
That might be cool. Yeah.
Chris Pound writes, you had to memorize the button placement to change the song from your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. But, you know, with something like this, what I liked about it was that it was like this battery part here kind of made it grippable, which I liked a little bit. So, like, you can...
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You definitely remembered where all of your buttons were on your device,
you
right?
use it so much.
Yeah. This was a NetMD MZN 505. I remember I also had an MZ. Oh, look, I have a battery in there. I used to have an MZ R70. Yeah, newer battery. Hasn't been in there for 20 years. Okay. We're getting closer and closer to that scene in Demolition Man with Stallone and Bullock with the headsets. Well, you know, if we're already there with the 3 seashells, at least we are in this household. So maybe soon we'll get on that headset game. We'll see. And if you don't know about the 3 seashells,
yeah, we don't have toilet paper in this house.
This is a 3 seashell kind of house. Chris Pound writes, I had that one too. Played MP3s. That's right. Yeah, this was the NetMD one. This one. I have an iPod. I have a bunch of iPods. I also collect those. So anyhow, that's Bahzad's electronic junk for today. Let's.
The bag.
Oh yeah.
That he used for storing this junk.
Tokushima hand-dyed natural indigo. Yeah.
So was it like?
It was a little bit of scrap. So.
Okay. Oh look.
Yeah.
With the
Selvedge in here. Yeah, this is a very expensive junk toting bag, but yeah, there was a little scrap piece of Tokushima hand-dyed fabric, and I'm like, I'm taking that and making a bag, and we did. So there you go. And that's it. Everybody, we're going to do a quick snack time here.
All right.
Because we've got a very, very special snack. It came via request. It was a Terry's pick. Fact.
Terry tried this and recommended it to us. So I was, looking for it in stores, and we found it.
We found it.
Yeah. It's a pretty, high-end, expensive level potato chips. Obviously, the volume is 53 grams. It's, there's not that much in there. And I think the price was, just as much as, a full big bag of potato chips.
In Japan, anything that says "the" at the start of it is a premium product. At least that's how they market it.
Until he said that, I really didn't realize that. But they do seem to do that recent years. Like the is just the ultimate.
The coffee is the ultimate coffee. Yeah.
Anyways, so this is they're kind of proud of the ingredients. So they picked a fancy, good quality potatoes, and it's salt and sesame oil. So
that's a good combination. I love
very high.
Oil.
You know what? I have to say that I don't like this wings thing.
No, terrible.
It doesn't go with the rest of the vibe.
It looks like a bad back tattoo.
Yeah. It really has nothing to do with this.
Shout outs to all the girls with bad tramp stamp wing tattoos out there. You're still living with the trauma of that. It smells nice.
Like regular potato chips.
They're not any thicker than a regular potato chip here.
It's more it's the harder kind, I think.
I don't even feel like it is a kettle cooked style chip, but let's find out.
I think it is.
They're good. Mm-hmm. They're not as hard as a kettle chip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The potato flavor is definitely emphasized.
It is a good chip.
It is.
This is a very good chip.
It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's
It's right in between a kettle chip and a Lay's.
Mm-hmm.
Lay's are very thin, crispy, but they don't have that crunch. And a kettle chip, I love them, but sometimes they're too hard.
Right.
This has got the perfect balance, and I have to say the salt with the sesame.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Like the taste isn't on the surface. You know, with the Lay's, like it's all the powder on the outside is what you're tasting. But here I think you could actually, like, the taste is like in the potato, I feel.
Right. This is a very good chip. I'm giving this an 8. That's a high rank. That's a high rank chip. That's a high quality chip.
Yeah. I just don't think, like, is it worth the price? I forgot how much we paid for this, but
it probably isn't worth the price.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a great. What Terry said to me, I think he said, like, it was just like a greater version of regular potato chips. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like
they nailed it in terms of, like, this is a high quality chip. Value. Yeah. Sometimes I will go for value. When I want potato chips, I want a lot of potato chips.
Right.
This is gone in about 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem with this.
Yeah. But I can see the quality difference. Mm-hmm. I can. It's just whether you put the...
I'm only ranking based on taste. And the taste is a winner.
Yeah. It is very good. Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
Terry has good taste in chips.
Thank you, Terry. Shout out to Terry for this week's recommendation. And shout out, and we're going to pour one out virtually for Terry's truck because it may not be located at this point. Who knows? You never know. I'm still praying. I'm still manifesting. We find the truck and that the dastardly devils who stole that truck meet their fate. That they meet their fate.
Okay.
Whatever that means. Mm-hmm. I hope they get it in a great volume. A lot of it.
Okay.
So you know, all I can say is if you're watching this, thieves, turn yourselves in to the local authorities. Let them know that you've been a bad boy, and accept your fate. Mm-hmm. Okay, and stop it.
And also, don't steal anybody's car, not just Terry's, but like stealing a car is just so bad.
Also, in the chat, if anyone here has stolen a vehicle, Bahzad is disappointed in you. Mm-hmm. Go bring it back. Go bring it back. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? All right.
All right.
All right. We'll leave it there, everybody. It's been a lot of fun. Had a great time spending my Saturday morning with you guys. My favorite thing to do. We'll be back again next Saturday. Same bat time, same bat channel right here on the Naked and Famous Denim YouTube channel. Be sure to hit that like button before you go. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Do something nice for yourself and for somebody else.
Enjoy a good quality potato chips, perhaps.
There you go. All right. We'll see you guys, I would say later, but later and or next time. Both. All right. Bye.
Bye.